What's up, everyone? Welcome to Lowered Expectations. Thanks for lowering your expectations and hanging out with me here. I do appreciate it. This video is probably going to be a little bit long, and the editing process is probably going to come across as a little bit rushed because it is. I am going to be releasing a Christmas special where I'm going to do a walkthrough of my system as it is. I've already filmed that footage. The problem is I want to release 2 videos between now and Christmas. It is currently Thursday, December 19th, and so I need to get 2 videos edited and uploaded so that I can then show you guys this stuff in order. So I have been testing the system in my house, but this video is going to be footage that I found. I thought that I had lost this or not recorded it or something. This is going to be testing inside of my ice fishing tent. With a little bit more detail than I showed you guys in the last video. The next video is going to be testing it inside of my house, and then the Christmas special is going to be basically as up to date as possible. Still 10 degrees from last night, even though it's -10 out. I haven't been filming a whole lot. Some stuff happened here and I kind of lost a bit of motivation. We've got a mouse inside of that bin. It's got nothing to do with anything, but I figured I would show you guys the startup process. The heater's been running, it ran for about 12 hours yesterday, something like that, 10 or 12 hours. Anyway, burn a bunch of oil through it, and I thought I would show you guys the fire up process. I'm gonna clean it out and fire it up, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Top off. Is it warm in there? Huh? Is it warm in there? Warm? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got this crusty stuff. It looks like it's right full, but it just kind of breaks away. The stuff around the center does not break away. That is oil that didn't get hot enough to burn, and it makes considerably more mess, which is the reason why I put that ring around the center. I'm not sure if it does more bad than good, but it's kind of hard to remove now, so it's staying there. This stuff kind of looks like some sort of seaweed or something. I wouldn't recommend eating it. It all just crumbles away. It looks quite substantial, but it doesn't weigh anything, and it all just crumbles away to nothing. Well, not nothing, but it crumbles away. You can see there's big cakes of it, and it kind of looks solid, but just crushes up. A few of you have pointed out that I shouldn't be breathing this stuff in, and that sounds like a good idea. It probably has some stuff in it that's not ideal to be in your body in any way. This is the consistency of the stuff around that center ring. Yeah, like I say, it just doesn't get hot enough to burn, and it forms this goop. If you take and put it in the outer ring, it will then get hot enough and it will burn. So that's what I'm going to do. A lot of people get confused about mixing gas in with oil and think that it's going to burn as a solution. That's not what happens at all. What happens when you put gas or ethanol or some sort of more volatile liquid in with another liquid is, as soon as it gets warm enough for the gas to flash off, the oil still isn't anywhere near hot enough to burn, but the gas is vaporizing, so the gas burns away, and then you're just left with oil behind. That's just the way it works. A lot of people think you mix gas and oil together and the gas and oil burn together, but yeah, I'm here to tell you that is not at all the case. I'm gonna put some diesel in the center here, and then I'm gonna put some gas in as well. We're gonna go out and yeah, fire things up. This is old gas, by the way. It's not quite as volatile as fresh fuel. So it doesn't make as much of an oomph, but also when I start it up, I make sure not to have the top on. If I put the top lid on, it makes quite a bit more of a thud than it does with the top off, as you will see. Nope, not gonna do it. Well, as you can see, no thud, no pop, no bang. Just starts burning. I'll put the lid on. Turn the fan on. It is currently 2:35 p.m. I currently have about 55 liters of fluid in here. 50 liters of fluid in there at 0 degrees Celsius. I'm now going to turn the oil pump on. It doesn't flow much oil until it warms up in here. We'll turn it on anyway. And now I'm going to increase the fan speed to half. I'm now going to go inside the ice fishing tent because it's quite cold out and I've got a diesel heater running in there. I'm going to actually allow water to run through the heat exchanger until it gets up to about 60 degrees Celsius before I actually turn the fan on inside of the tent. It is now 3:23 p.m. and the temperature just went up to about 62 degrees Celsius without the fan on the heat exchanger. So what I do now, basically there's no water forming on the coil now. So what I do is I take one of these bars, seems to help, and put it over the top. And it doesn't change the way the heater runs too much, but it seems to trap a little bit more heat in and make the coil absorb more heat. Let's go take a look inside the ice fishing shelter tent, and I'm not sure how much you'll be able to see, but I'll try to talk you through it. Got some windows open, so there's actually a little bit of light. Got this pole in the center because the snow makes the roof collapse. The diesel heater over here in this corner, and I've got a box fan that I had for cooling my air compressor off in the attic. And on the back side of the box fan, we've got the heat exchanger, heat coming in, and the water going back to the bin. Currently, not sure how well you guys can see this, but current temperature is 67 degrees on the inlet, and the fan is not turned on, so we're not pulling any heat. Well, we're not pulling any heat out with the fan yet. So now that it's 68, I'm actually going to turn the fan on, and we're going to turn the diesel heater off. I know this data isn't very scientific, but with the diesel heater running, the temperature on the back of my chair is actually 22 degrees Celsius. The inlet temperature is currently 64 degrees Celsius. Let's check the outlet temperature, see how much drop we have over the heat exchanger. 65. Alright, 65 on the inlet, and the outlet 57. So about a 9-degree drop. Seems to be with the heater on setting, with the box fan on setting 3, which is the highest setting, that seems to be pretty normal. It loses between 9 and 10 degrees from the inlet to the outlet. It's flowing at about 6 liters a minute, which is about 1.64 gallons a minute. So you can do the math and figure out it's not actually that impressive, but this is just a box fan. And so, yeah, with a proper ducted fan, this should work a whole lot better. I should say, although I did just say that this wasn't very impressive, what I meant is it's not very impressive as far as how many BTUs are being pulled out of the water and pumped into this area. However, that amount is enough to keep this ice fishing tent at about 30 degrees Celsius when it is about minus 15 outside. It's going to drop down to I believe below minus 20 Celsius tonight, so maybe I'll have it running and we'll collect a little bit more data, but I have to say it works really, really well. I like the idea of being able to heat up the tent, and it's more fun being out here than it is being in the garage. So even though it's more practical to use this to heat a house or a garage, it's more entertaining and relaxing for me to be in this tent with grass as a floor. It's amusing. I don't know if I've mentioned it already, but I am running RV antifreeze, and unfortunately the RV antifreeze that I'm using has a boiling temperature of about 85 degrees Celsius. Water boils at 100, and I read on the internet that RV antifreeze boils around 106. It turns out there's glycol base and ethanol base, and the stuff that I bought appears to be ethanol base, and it's actually boiling quite a bit below 100. I thought I would show you guys. It is 3:34 p.m. and we've got about 50 liters of water and RV antifreeze out there, and we are now pulling heat out of this thing. It probably will climb in temperature. Yesterday I was running at about 80 degrees Celsius all day, and I normally have to dial the heater back, so I have to turn down the oil flow and turn down the fan. I have found that once the burner gets dirty, it gets clogged up with the ash from the old oil. I've got to then start cranking it up. It doesn't burn nearly as hot, doesn't burn as well, and so after about 2 days of running. After probably about 20 to 24 hours of running, it needs to be cleaned out to, it still burns clean, but it's just harder to get the heat into the water. I just recorded that clip trying to get the point across that we aren't just trying to heat up a tent here. In the amount of time that has elapsed, we've actually heated up 50 liters of water, we'll call it, plus whatever is in the exchanger. So there's another couple liters there and in the line. So we've got water from, we've got about 50 liters of water from 0 Celsius all the way up to 65 Celsius. And yeah, I don't know how long it was, about an hour. And it's cold out. It's not insulated on the lines. The exchanger's not insulated. The tub's not insulated. And so, yeah, all my equipment's out in the cold. So the fact that it's actually able to build that temperature at all is fairly impressive. I have gone and got my computer. I'm going to edit some video while I monitor the temperature here. I've turned the fan down to setting 2, and I've got the door open so that Kush can come and stick her nose in if she feels like coming in, which I'm sure she will because it's very cold. I'm actually going to check the temperature while you guys are here. Don't go anywhere. Let's see what the temperature is outside. It is supposed to drop down quite cold, but I think it's already quite cold. Oh yeah. Hi Kush. Come on in. Come on. Good girl. I was saying that it is supposed to get quite cold. And I should have said it already is quite cold. We've got minus 17. So that is by no means warm. And the heater, let's see, let's check the time. The diesel heater turned off at about, yeah, the diesel heater's been off for 15 minutes, a little over 15 minutes. And the temperature, I have opened up all these windows to film. So they were closed when the diesel heater was running. It's maintaining the same temperature, maybe a little warmer. And yeah, just running only on warm water now. I'm going to do some video editing until I get bored with that or sidetracked by the heater running out of control. Temperature's just gone up to 60 degrees, 70 degrees rather, but I have lowered the fan to setting 2. So when the temperature gets up to say 75, maybe 79, I'll turn it up to setting 3 and we'll see what happens. But for now, video editing. It is now about an hour later, 4:35 p.m. I'm still editing some video, and I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an update. Update number 1 is that I decided to start a fire to cook some hot dogs, so I got that going on outside. And I decided to use Andy's little fire pit thing. So I've got that started up outside. I don't really want to be cooking over an oil fire. And update number 2 is that it is toasty warm in here. Let's see, I haven't actually checked the temperatures, but let's see, over there on that chair it is 32 degrees Celsius. Over here we are 28, 29, yeah, 29. And behind me, 28.9 degrees Celsius. So the temperature has gone up considerably inside of the tent since shutting down the diesel heater. Once that fire outside turns into some nice cooking coals, I'm going to make myself a couple of hot dogs. And in the meantime, let's check some numbers on the heater. We are about 78 degrees Celsius, 78, 79 on the inlet, and on the outlet we are 69. There we go. So as I said earlier, about a 10-degree drop with a little over 6 liters a minute. I keep this multimeter plugged in all the time because, as I think I said earlier, the coolant, or the antifreeze rather, is RV antifreeze, and it does boil around 85, and I'd like to avoid that, so I keep my meter turned on. It beeps at me before it shuts down, and that reminds me to take a look at it. It's currently at 80 degrees Celsius, so I've already turned the heater outside down once when I went out to start this fire, and so it looks like I'm going to have to probably turn it down again. I'm kind of experimenting, well, everything I do is an experiment, but I'm kind of experimenting today with leaving the fan cranked up and just turning the oil down. Well, it is now 5:26, so almost 5:30. Got a couple of hot dogs cooked. I don't know where my infrared thermometer is. 79 degrees Celsius inlet temperature, and it's been maintaining that for about an hour now since my last update. It's nice and warm in the tent. I have opened 2 of the windows because she's trying to tell me she wants some hot dog. It's nice and toasty warm in here, despite having 2 windows open and the door partly open. I'm going to enjoy my hot dog and my root beer and watch some YouTube. Right after turning the camera off, I kicked this, it was on the ground. So let's see what the temperatures are now. On that chair it was 32, and it's now says 30, but it's right by the open door. Over here we are now 28. I think that's about the same. On this chair, 26 point something. There you have it, folks. I hope you guys are as excited or thrilled about this as I am. There's something very amusing and very satisfying about heating even an ice fishing tent with just waste oil. I am hoping in the future to be able to test cooking oil. I'm going to have to collect that somewhere locally. But yeah, before we do that, I am going to be releasing another video fairly soon, hopefully, of me testing this inside of my house. And then again, as I said at the first of the video, a Christmas special. If you guys are interested in any of the Vevor products that you saw in this video, links in the description below, also a link to my Patreon. That is going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.